Welcome, everybody, to Tag, a podcast all about teaming up your sales and marketing to win big in business. I am Joshua Levoff, one of the co-hosts of the show. And with me, as always, Chris Askew, handling the marketing side of everything. And so, guys, we're super excited today because this is actually the very first content-driven podcast episode that we're doing on video. And so we're super excited. Would love to hear your feedback. We're launching this out on YouTube here. First episode, like I said, with regards to even the small...
No, you're good. You're good. Your frame on your video is like all kind of jacked up, dude.
What do you mean it's all jacked up?
Like your chin is all the way like you're down here like this on your video.
Oh,
yeah. There you go. That's
that better. Okay.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. You want me to start that all over?
Start all over. Yeah.
I was doing so good.
You were in a groove. I'm sorry, but your camera sucked. Like placement.
Okay. Welcome, everybody, to Tag, a podcast all about teaming up your sales and marketing to win big in business. I am Joshua Levoff, one of the co-hosts of the show. As always, with me, handling the marketing side perspective of everything, is Chris Askew. And guys, we're super excited today because this is the first podcast on video for Tag that we've ever done. And so we're super excited to bring this to you today. Got a lot of great content, and this is all tying into our series on the Small Business Startup Series. And so with this being the first episode, we wanted to hammer it hard today and bring you some good, very relevant, very actionable content. Chris is taking the lead on this. There is some sales pieces in here, but this is more of the marketing side of things today, guys. And we're just going to kind of get right into it. So Chris, why don't you bring to our listeners what we're going to be talking about today and cover it. And then we're going to wrap up at the end and kind of give everybody an idea of where we can find these episodes, man. So without further ado, Chris, bring it to us, bro.
All right. Yeah. So today is all about foundation. A lot of you guys out there have asked us, what do I do for a small business? What's the best way to market? What are some of the best things I can do for advertising? You had some very specific questions about that. And in reality, we're going to cover like the most basic step of this. Why are you in business? And I know it sounds so basic, but so many people overlook this first step. And the answer can't just be, hey, I'm in it for the money. I'm in it for the freedom. Those are good things, but really, like, why are you in business? What value? Because if you're saying like, hey, I'm in business for myself for the money, all right, that's great. But you have to realize that is a selfish motivation, and that does nothing for your customer. So why are you in business for your customer? Or for your target demographic, for your target audience? Those are some basic questions that you have to answer. What are some of your core offerings? What are things that your company stands for? Hey, do you have a mission statement? Do you have a vision statement? Today, we're going to work on one of the most foundational pieces, and that's your positioning statement. And basically, what a positioning statement is, how you describe your product or service fills a need for your target market or your target like demographic or persona that you're working towards. This is kind of the core strategy for coming up with your whole narrative and your whole how do I say this, like the whole way that you speak to your audience and the vibe, the tone. That's the word I was looking for. It covers the whole tone of of how you speak in all of your advertising, any kind of messages that you're putting out or any content that you're creating. Plus, having a solid positioning strategy against your competition really does create just a clear vision for the brand. So unlike a vision and mission statement, your position statement is not public facing. This is not something that we're going to be, suggesting you push out onto your website at all. At its core, this is just for you as your leadership in your company and your employees, any stakeholders in your company, to really kind of determine how your brand should be perceived. And, what do you do differently for your customers that they can't find from any of the other competition out there? And really, honestly, what can your customers expect from you? So this is really like why you would be crafting a positioning statement, is to solve some of those basic questions. And man, if you don't know why you're in business, or if you don't know what makes you different from any of the competition out there, and you already have a small business that you've started, it's time to take like a little breather and a little pause. And it's time to actually like cover some of that basic ground just to make sure that you got the right foundation under your feet. So basically a good positioning or a good positioning template a woman named Susan Silver actually came up with a really good one. I'm going to put her show notes in, like the link to this on her show notes, but it's argentumstrategy.com/resources/free-marketing-templates. I know it's long, but check out the show notes later, or just visit our website for episode number 24, tagteamup.com/24, and you can find the link directly on that. Now, basically, a positioning statement is, what my company X provides Y for the benefit of Z. Meaning, let me backpedal just a little bit. This template's really there to help you describe why you're in business and how to fit into your marketplace. So her positioning statement reads like this: to target that has unmet need, target meaning your demographic that you're going after, that has unmet need, your company name is the competitive set, like the differential piece that provides unique point of difference because it reason to believe 1, reason to believe 2, reason to believe 3. Now, I know that's not making quite sense just yet. Once you see it in writing, it absolutely will. And we're going to kind of push forward a little bit so that you listening to this will be able to understand this. Number one, what I want to talk about is that very first part. Who is your target market? This should be a really straightforward question for you. Who are the types of businesses or consumers that you want your brand to reach? What are their interests? How do they make decisions? Who or what influences them and why? And the more specific that you can be when you're coming up with your target, the better off you are. Think about all of this, write that down in your target in slot number 1. Some examples of a target might be men ages 24 to 35, or like if you sell stuff that's unique to park rangers, it might be park rangers. Upper class expectant mothers might be another one if you're selling high-end like crib sheets that are made out of Egyptian cotton. I don't know what your target demographic is. That depends. Josh is laughing. That depends on your business and what's relevant to you. We can't answer those questions for you.
Right. And even from the sales perspective, Chris, too, if you don't know who your target market is, then you're kind of out the window on that one as well, right? Even from the sales perspective side, because marketing, the whole part of marketing is to provide that information, awareness, but then the sales piece, you have to identify who your target market is to get them in the door, to get paying customers. So this is like ultra beginning before you offer a product, before you even craft a product in some cases.
Yep.
Find out who you have fill a need. Who can you fill a need for? Or who do you have a knick-knack for? This is ultra first point blank simple for everything.
Yep. It's literally impossible to craft a relevant message and create a branding strategy without knowing who your target demographic is. You just cannot do it. Like, this is 100% marketing 101 here. So number 2, we talked about the target that has unmet need. Company name is the competitive set, that unique point of difference. All right. So let's clock back to what unique value do you provide to your customers? What do you think that you are the best in the world at doing? What value do you provide your customers that no other business in your category can provide? What service? Another way to think about this is basically what service or product that you're offering are you the most confident in? What are you the best at doing? Some examples would be, hey, like we provide the lowest price in sporting goods, or we provide the highest quality hats, or we provide a better peace of mind for this. Now, maybe like I typically don't recommend the lowest price in sporting goods as like your competitive difference, because that comes down to, and this is a little bit more advanced, but that comes down to the whole race to the bottom methodology, where I just do not, it's really hard for me to buy into competing on price, because the truth is somebody else will always undercut you. So that's why like I'm trying to get you to think of, what are some other competitive differentials that you have? We provide the best service after you purchase our product, or, when you purchase our service, you get one-on-one time with so-and-so person who has had X amount of years of experience. You always want it to be like, hey, like what are some reasons why somebody would buy into you more than even just price?
And I'll tell you, Chris, that is a very, very big problem in the consulting and coaching world, where people don't value their time and expect that, well, nobody's going to pay $100 an hour for me to come in. If you are only $100 an hour, they're
Yeah.
going to have trouble buying for you or paying for you because they don't think you're going to be worth it. It's
Yep.
weird. It's a weird dichotomy when it comes to business. Now, if you're competing in an area of retail like Walmart, well, right, you have to be competitive. You can't be charging $17 for the same $6 bottle of something. However, Chris is not talking about that specifically. What this part is, what are you going to be able to do to differentiate yourself from the competition? That's
Yeah.
what you need to answer here.
Well,
Period.
even if you're on like
Price
a,
is never a good thing, so.
yeah, I'll give you a good for instance. Even if you're on Etsy, all right. So if you're a solopreneur who's on Etsy creating craft products, man, there's some really cool stuff on there. But on the same hand, there's a lot of cheap trinkets on there also that, like God bless them. Like there's probably a lot of like stay-at-home moms or people just making crafted products that are doing it for ridiculously cheap in order to compete against the other people who on Etsy are doing it ridiculously cheap. But I know like my personality, like, I think in life I've really learned, hey, you get what you pay for. And I would much rather make sure that I buy something that is made quality and made well and made right before I find something that's made cheap. So if you're out there on Etsy trying to sling products, like you're creating like custom jewelry, what some things that you might want to do for a competitive differential, your unique value is we provide the highest quality, materials when we're presenting this jewelry to you, or you're going to find jewelry pieces that we make that are unlike anything else that's out in the market. So make sure that you have a good point of differentiation that's not based off of price. All right. Unless like you're able to become, Walmart, that's the low price leader. That's literally what their slogan was. But, you have to be a really large business, in my opinion, to be able to offer that low price leadership.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on. The other things that you have to keep in mind for your target market is also, the reasons. We provide this unique point of difference, and we back it up because reason to believe number one, reason to believe number two, reason to believe number three. You have to be able to back up what you're claiming in your marketing. You have to be able to back that up. Now, this could mean anything from showing your process to sharing your data statements to prove that you're for real. Make a list of the 3 reasons that why people would believe in you. For example, we eliminate our overhead by selling online. Or example number 2 is we form partnerships with major brands to sell overstock content. Or number 3, like we can match any other price you find online. Now, again, that's coming back to the whole, price matching. But we're going to give you some examples of some actual positioning statements. And once you, I think, hear some of these examples, you really it'll kind of like be one of those click moments for you. So tips for creating a positioning statement, some broad tips. When you're writing and evaluating your positioning statement, keep these following tips in mind. Number 1, keep it brief. Make it unique and memorable. Make sure that it's true to your business's core values. Make sure that it includes just a really good, credible promise of what the brand delivers to its consumers. Make sure that it communicates how your business is different from your competition. That's probably one of the most important parts. Make sure it's clear enough to use as a guideline to evaluate whether or not your business decisions align with your brand. And that's incredibly important. Like when you're writing this whole thing, this will kind of become like your cornerstone to help you make your business decisions moving forward. Because if it doesn't align to your brand, why are you even doing it? And now another thing to keep in mind is a positioning statement should never become stagnant. Make sure that your statement provides room for growth as your business matures and your products change.
Now, Chris, you mentioned, and for those like listening, this is not the mission or vision statement, which is showing the direction the company is going and
Correct.
And or showing, the mission, like what is our purpose of business. What this is a positioning statement. And just as you said there, this is able to be adaptable and fluid and move around. And guys, here's a sad truth, but a truth to business. At some point, you're probably going to have to adjust who you're delivering to, or your target market may shift, or, you kind of go out there with the hypothesis that this is the customers I want to reach out to. This is who I want to give my business to. And the market may not actually want those things. Maybe it's a different market, and you're not going to turn away money or value, or you're not going to turn away anybody. So as Chris is mentioning here, and Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a fluid statement, as you just mentioned, but it's something that should always be revisited every quarter, every 6
Absolutely.
months, or every year, just to make sure that you're not missing out on some of the customers that you're kind of looking to hit or take care of, you know?
Yeah, and it's good, like, for example, like if you run a software as a service company and you're charging one-off for every time somebody buys something, it might make more sense, for your business to switch over to a subscription model. A lot of businesses have done that, and it's wise. So if you craft your positioning statement away from like, hey, we provide one-off sales for whatever person, like if you're not focusing on that, but if you're focusing on a broader thing, like our service provides this for our customers, then if you have to switch the method that you're actually making your income for your company, that positioning statement would still remain valid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like a good example is like, I know like even for us right now, like we literally just installed Drift on our site, which is a conversational chat bot. Like we're realizing more and more, hey, forms aren't working this day and age. People just aren't filling them out, but people are interacting with chatbots live because people are used to texting, and they just don't want to fill out a form and like wait for an email reply later. Most people want to be able to chat right away with something and get that immediate gratification. So if you're a company who provides like direct communication with your business, and say like that's your business model is we've created online forms, then you realize culture has shifted. If online forms is your positioning statement, then you're going to hit a wall. So it's time to maybe reinvent yourself. So that's what I meant about making sure that you keep it fluid, because things really do change kind of quickly sometimes in business.
Now, Chris, let me ask you, because we are talking about the small businesses out there.
Mm-hmm.
Large businesses should also, even if you have millions and millions of dollars in revenue, you may be missing some bits and pieces. Am I correct? Like you should also revisit this as well at that level. Am I correct?
Oh, absolutely. Large businesses revisit their positioning statement kind of frequently, like, at least once a year. And not only, your positioning statement doesn't just have to be one positioning statement for your entire company. Many companies create positioning statements for each major different service or good or product line that they offer. Because why? Because your target demographic, number one, is probably different between the different product lines or services that you're offering. So write a positioning statement for each different target demographic that you're going after is the most logical thing to do for you. Now you can keep a really broad one, as an overarching, encompassing one, but I absolutely recommend writing like smaller mission statement or positioning statements for each of your major product lines. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. And I think that kind of helps because as we talked about, even though we have large businesses that we're working with or talking to larger businesses, and then we also now are getting down into the, solopreneur side of things, I think it's helpful to keep in mind that this is the best part so far has been to understand that this is something that is not meant to be stuck up on a wall and not revisited until you make a major shift in brand. This is something that is, how is our product be? And this is something to revisit constantly with the market too.
Yep.
Is our target market the same? Is the people that are salespeople going out to, is it the same customers? Is the same type of customers? You may be reaching out to a dentist office and that's maybe your target demographic that you're reaching out to. And here you find medical doctors are actually more interested in what you're offering. And are you going to turn that away? So maybe shift at that point, right? So that's good. I love that.
All right. So I know we're talking about small businesses here. So I'm going to go ahead and go forward with some different positioning statements. Now, some of these positioning statements that I've chosen are from large businesses, but that's only because they've really kind of like taken the time to narrow down that positioning statement. And a lot of small businesses just don't publish positioning statements. So a good example was actually from that Argentum strategy site that I had mentioned before. They had worked with a company called Give Forward that ended up getting purchased by GoFundMe. Now, their positioning statement is as follows. To people who have friends with cancer, who are in financial need, who want to help them in a meaningful way, Give Forward is the online medical fundraising tool that empowers people to help their ill friends financially because it's easy to use process, real fundraising coaches to help, and has helped people raise over $170 million since 2008. All right, so if we break down like our template for creating a positioning statement, we have a target. People who have friends with cancer. We have an unmet need. friends with cancer who are in financial need, and we actually want to help them. What's our competitive set? Our competitive set is we're an online medical fundraising tool. Notice that it didn't say we're an online medical fundraising tool on GoFundMe or anything like that. It kept it really broad. What's their unique point of difference? It empowers people to help their ill friends financially. And here's some reasons to believe it. Reason number 1, 2, and 3 that I covered earlier. It's easy to use. Real fundraising coaches help people raise over 170 million. You always want to back it up with facts. Coca-Cola, their positioning statement is for individuals looking for high quality beverages. That's their target. Coca-Cola offers a wide range of the most refreshing options. That's their unmet or their competitive set. Each creates a positive experience for customers when they enjoy a Coca-Cola brand drink. Again, second unmet need right there too, or competitive set, I mean. Unlike other beverage options, now what they're doing here is they're actually pivoting themselves. Now that's one thing that you can do to extend your positioning statement is you can pivot yourself against competition. It's not necessarily necessary to throw your competition under the bus as much as it is to make sure that you are unique and different from them. All right. So what Coca-Cola says is Coca-Cola products inspire happiness and make a positive difference in customers' lives. And the brand is intensely focused on the needs of consumers and customers. I'm going to get into a couple better ones. I feel like the Coca-Cola one focused a lot on like feeling. So, as I'm giving this example to you, I definitely want to qualify this and say that I don't think that Coca-Cola got that exactly right as big as they are. So even the big brands could kind of falter on some of those steps. Let me read you Nike's though. Nike's is really good. For athletes in need of high quality, fashionable athletic wear, Target. Nike provides customer and also Target and also the unmet need of high quality, fashionable athletic wear. Their unique point of difference is Nike provides customers with top performing sports apparel and shoes made of the highest quality materials. Now, it's reasons to believe its products are the most advanced in the athletic apparel industry because of Nike's commitment to innovation and its investment in the latest technologies. Apple's positioning statement. For individuals who want the best personal or computer device, Target, Apple leads the technology industry with the most innovative products. Apple emphasizes technological research and advancement and takes on innovative approaches to business best practices. It considers the impact our products and processes have on its customers and the planet. Another really good one is McDonald's. For individuals looking for a quick service restaurant with an exceptional customer service, Target, unmet need, McDonald's is a leader in the fast food industry, competitive set, with its friendly service and consistency across thousands of convenient locations. Reasons to believe. McDonald's dedication to improving operations, number 1, and customer satisfaction set it apart from other fast food restaurants. So, as you work through this template, again, I'm going to drop that link directly in our show notes. We're going to put it on our episodes page, tagteamup.com/episode 24. Please work through that positioning statement. If you have any questions, go ahead and send us a chat, drop onto any of our social channels and send us a direct message. We're happy to help you guys. So if you do have any questions, you want to kind of ask us, hey, is this right? Is this correct? Sure, we'll review that. But again, this is probably one of the most foundational things that you can do for your business is craft a good positioning statement, because what this is really going to do is this is going to be the building block for how we're helping you develop content in the next couple episodes that we're going to be doing. How we set our tone, how we're positioning you against your competition, how we're writing our different advertisements that we're doing. Even honestly, figuring out your target demographic is going to help you to determine what channels you're even supposed to be advertising on. Television might not be best for you. Social might not be best for you, etc. So figuring out those target demographics and really nailing that down is 100% the first step you absolutely have to take as a business.
And Chris, I love what you have said, man. And I want to kind of go back 2 steps here. By the way, guys, tagteamup.com/24. That's the episode that we're going to be talking about here today, as we've been talking this whole time. But I want to go back, Chris, to Nike, to Nike's positioning statement, because as a salesperson, they already did my pitch for me.
Yeah.
As you've read it, we know who we're going after, right? Athletes, but maybe I'm not an athlete anymore, but I just love how they look, right? However, their main focus is athletes and getting into the big four sports, right? But I love that, it kind of lays out. So as a salesperson, guys, you can look at these companies, and even if your company as a small business owner or as a solopreneur, even if your company doesn't currently have a positioning statement, which is what we're helping you to craft right now, this actually kind of kills two birds with one stone, which is why I was so excited to talk about this today, because not only does it help you kind of narrow down your positioning statement for your products and your deliverables, but it also helps with the 30-second pitch in all honesty. It took Chris
Absolutely.
22 seconds, I think, to read the Nike's positioning statement. And even Apple, right? We think of Apple as this cool technology sort of thing. Well, Apple, they're more proud of their business strategy and how they, they're first to market with these different things. They brought the iPhone, the mobile phone, to the world, and look, now they're being paid for it handsomely. But I think in all of these cases, when you listen to this kills two birds with one stone, Chris, which is why I'm so excited, because not only from the marketing side do you have a positioning statement and something that you can work through and work on, but now ultimately on the other side with the sales piece, now I have something I can give my sales team. Hey, this may not be for forever. Here's how we want to position ourselves, and here's the 30-second pitch. Essentially, here's what we're doing, the 3 reasons, and this and that, and our customer base. And that, guys, so just super excited about that part of it, man, because that just really helps a lot. It really does.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely the foundational piece that you have to nail down in order to move forward with any part of your business. All right, guys, if you guys send in some questions that you'd like for us to answer directly online, check us out, tagteamup.com/small business series or tagteamup.com/SBS. They'll both go to the same page. We are going to be reading and answering some of your questions that you're sending us directly live on air, on video. So if you have questions about your business, anything that you want to know, marketing, sales related, please jump on and send us something. We're going to include that in probably the back half of our small business series. Guys, this was a great episode. Love having our listeners, our subscribers. Again, we just want to thank you. This show's grown. And like, I just love interacting with the people that are out there. We always appreciate the messages you send to us. Guys, we love you. Thank you very much for listening. First of all, we're very humbled by the impact that we're having right now. So again, thank you guys for listening, and tune in next time.